Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a podcast. Not only is this a podcast, but it's our journey. A journey that we hope you want to ride out with us as we intend to educate you guys, inspire, talk about past and current experiences, and to make one think to stop judging others. Most importantly, stop judging yourself based on others' views and perceptions. With that said, you'll be hearing from me, myself, Austin Kirshner, but along with our journey on this podcast will be my mother, Kathy Kirshner, and my brother, Dylan Kirshner. With that said, welcome to Silencing of Stigma. We're going back to the roots. So Dylan, remember when I called you the other day? Huh?
Yes, sir.
What was my question?
What does the Bible say about swearing?
Yeah, the whole reason why I brought that up was because we had a whole conversation at work with the guys about religion. Believe it or not, a bunch of construction guys having to talk about religion. But
nothing wrong with that.
Which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, and we brought up a lot of different stuff, and we all had our different beliefs. Believe it or not, it was very interesting. And I brought up the cussing thing. I asked the kid, he's a Christian, and I said, does the Bible say anything about using bad words or cussing? And that was my question to you.
Yeah, and I researched it, and I looked it up. There's different verses out of the Bible that say stuff along the lines of that.
Now, you consider yourself a Christian as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to read some of these?
No, I just want to know your opinion or what stuff you found out of the Bible said.
Here's the thing. I was just thinking about that on the way over here. I can get my point across without using any vulgar words, just like you can get your point across without using any vulgar words. You just choose to use them.
But
correct?
It's part of my personality.
That's fine. I'm not saying it's wrong for you to use it. In my opinion, I just don't see the use for it.
I agree.
And there's one
I'm
of the
not
Ten
gonna sit.
Commandments.
I'm not going to sit here and say you're a bad person for swearing. That's not what I do.
I wasn't taking it in a personal way. I was saying, what does the Bible state about cussing?
Well, like I said, there's a bunch of different verses that.
Mom, what's your opinion?
I told you, the Bible, the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not take God's name in vain, is all I know about this.
That was one of these verses I saw.
Okay.
But saying fuck is not using God's name in vain. Just saying GD is. So
What's GD?
I'm not going to say it.
All right.
I wouldn't know where these. I gotta look this up sometime. Where cuss words came. Like who decided that?
Where they originate from?
Yeah, who decided that the F word was a bad word?
Why have them if they're bad?
Okay, welcome, Maddie, to the podcast.
So
No, sorry.
So you're saying your opinion is that they're not bad?
No, I'm not saying they are bad. It comes down to me.
No, I'm talking to Maddie now.
Oh, okay.
we're going to introduce
I wanna
Maddie here in
introduce
a
her
second.
first.
She's just sitting here, but go ahead and give yours, and then we'll do the intro for Maddie. Your thoughts on bad words. Who makes them bad?
I say use them.
So you're saying they're not bad then?
No, I don't get the point.
So if they're
If bad, they wouldn't be there.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, she's going to be a good story to tell. But before we get started on that, I'm just going to do a shout out here quick. Saturday, I was in town. Nate's Necessities is a group that someone shared with me. It's a young boy who passed away of a heroin overdose or a drug overdose. I think it was heroin. I'm not 100% sure. But I met with his father, and they're doing a stocking thing downtown. On the 19th of December. So I want to give a shout out to that. It's for the homeless. We're filling stockings with hygiene products, candy, gloves. So I was able to go down there to meet with him this week. And York Giving's Helping Hands is another group that I met. And every Saturday and Sunday, they feed the needy the people in need in the city. It was the most amazing thing that I've experienced. It's a hot meal. Mike's in charge of the York Giving Helping Hands. He does it. This is his second year. Literally on Saturday, we handed out hot dogs and sauerkraut. They served over 150 people. And he literally pulls his van with a trailer in there every weekend. Cold, rain, hot, summer. And the people are so appreciative. And I just want to throw that out there, that's a great organization. It's York Giving Helping Hands. That's a page that you can get on. I think you have to answer like 3 questions to get on this page, but
Is it a group or page?
it's a group, sorry.
What's the name of the group?
York Giving Helping Hands. And literally they have sign-up sheets for every weekend. You can sign up to donate water. You can sign up to go help. I just happened to be there and just stuck around to help. I met some really good people. The people in need, it's interesting how grateful they are. So before we get started, I just want to throw that out there.
When's the next event?
It's every Saturday and Sunday from 12 to 2.
What's the one they're doing?
So the 19th is Nate's Necessities. So Nate Necessities comes on Saturdays and gives out clothing, if weather permitting. And then the other one, they're there whether it's raining, snowing, whatever. And that's a hot meal. And then each person gets a hot meal, whatever that might be. And then they get a lunch bag that has a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, a sweet snack, a salty snack, a bottle of water, flavoring to put into their water, and then whatever the hot meal is. So one of the pizza shops is donating something next week on the 19th. Sons of Italy is bringing baked ziti with COVID. If you want to help, there's a sign-up sheet. Make sure you're wearing your mask. He follows all the COVID, but it was kind of cool. I went, I didn't know anybody, and within 10 minutes, I felt like I was part of their family. Some people do it every weekend. Mike does it every weekend. He's going to come on someday. He just doesn't know it yet, to the podcast. He doesn't like to take the praise for it, so that's why I'm shooting this out there, because it's amazing what you see and what you learn and how people need stuff, and they're so appreciative. So I just want to throw that out there.
All right, well, you've heard her a little bit in the beginning there. We have a special guest today. And like I said, you might have heard her mentioned on episode 17 during the podcast with our cousin David. So this would be her sister. And,
His sister.
I mean, his sister. Sorry, my bad. Like I said, I remember her as the one who always swam at our parents' pool, right? And she's also my cousin, Dylan's cousin. I want to welcome Maddie as well as
Vicky.
my Aunt Vicky.
Hi.
Maddie's mother.
That would be Maddie's mom.
Yes.
And we were talking a little bit. You reached out to my mom, or did she reach out to you?
No, Maddie started watching the podcast, and she made the comment at the very beginning, put a shout out for the podcast and said everybody should listen. Maddie, obviously, if you listen to David's story, was affected by drug addiction. It touched her, and she wanted to share, and so she has some stuff of her own that she thinks that if she shares might help other people.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about how you grew up?
Yeah. So I grew up in a nice sized home in a really nice neighborhood with a bunch of kids. 2 older brothers. I didn't really see them a lot because they were teenagers. They wanted to get out of the house. They wanted to do their own stuff.
What's the age difference again? So your older brothers are what?
30 and 29, and I'm 17.
17.
Yeah.
So you're the youngest in the family. Okay.
Yep, I've always been the baby at all the family reunions.
Yeah.
And you're the only girl cousin we have on that side of the
Yeah.
family.
I'm
Yeah,
also the
also.
only girl.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know.
So-
Maybe it's a good thing.
She was always picked on. Maddie spent a lot of time with us when she was a child.
Yeah, every time I think of you, I always remember Kyle picking on you a lot. Do you remember that growing
Oh
up?
yeah, I remember hiding from him because he was.
How old do you remember you were at? What age were you when you remember? Because I remember him picking on you when you were
Oh,
little.
I remember multiple times. I remember multiple times.
What would he do?
He would just chase me around. And I'd get too tired,
He'd
and
probably
I'd
say your name a lot too.
Yep, I'd go in the pool, and I'd see him, and I'd duck down quick. He'd ring my doorbell on my bedroom wall, and him and Uncle Chris, and who knows who else was ringing my doorbell
Yeah.
out there.
So she got abused by the older boys.
Did you ever share that kind of relationship with your brothers at all? How close were you to them?
I'd say as we grew up, somehow the relationships got. So at the beginning, I'd say they were close. Then, as time moved on, I'd say they moved apart, but then I'd say that they're getting closer again, just now with how well David's been doing. Basically, I use that as an inspiration to get through every day.
Okay, so let's just clarify. So David and Zach are her brothers, but
Yeah.
they have a separate dad. So they spent some weekends with their dad.
Did
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, every other
I
weekend.
can't even remember that.
Every other
Yeah.
weekend they were with their dad, yeah.
So you just said that David's inspiration. Dave's been clean, I don't even know how long now at this
Almost 5
point.
years.
Almost 5 years. So congratulations, Dave, because I'm sure
Yeah.
you're listening. And he shared his story. As Austin said, it was episode
17.
17. So
He shows the 12 steps.
yeah, he's the one that shares the 12 steps. He shared a lot of information, and there was a special moment in his podcast.
Yeah, I'll play it for you right now. Is that all right, Maddie?
Yeah.
Took the shit seriously this time. You know, I learned much more about me, and it's something, you know, I've told Maddie this too. My last time in treatment, she sent me a letter, and I remember reading it in my room. I went in, closed the door, made sure nobody came in my room when I read it, because I can only imagine what this letter would say. But you know, it was just saying that she still loves me. You know, she wants the old me back, and I broke down. You know, and at that moment, I broke down. I got in the shower, and I actually prayed for the first time in God knows how long. You know, I was just like, God, just help me. You know, and I've told Maddie that, like, that letter definitely lit the fire under my ass to actually do something with my life. You know, and as you know, me and Maddie's relationship, her and I were extremely close, you know, especially with
Yes.
her growing up, you know, with my mom going through what she was going through. You know, I was a big part of her life, and she's a big part of my life, and I love her to death for it. But yeah, so after that letter, you know, I started praying. I didn't know what I was praying to. I didn't know who I was praying to.
So what's your reaction to that? So you just said he's your big inspiration.
Yeah, let's just say when I listened to that the first time, there was a lot of ugly crying.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, no, I remember specifically, like, the day I wrote that letter, like, I was just, like, I think it was one of the times that my mom had to throw David out of the house, which was really hard, and I was really upset, so I was in my room thinking, and I was just like, I'm just gonna write him a letter. And I was like, so I plopped down on my desk, I remember, because I had a minion puzzle there. And I took the minion puzzle apart, and then I put the letter there, and I wrote the letter. And I just remember it didn't even, like, everything just kind of flowed out. And I meant everything I said on that letter. And I'm glad I wrote it, because I didn't know it would do what it did.
So did you know before the podcast that it did what it did?
I had some idea. David's talked about it somewhat, but, like, I didn't know about to the extent. Yeah.
Okay, so that's crucial. So Dave, you saved Dave. He's
Yeah, but-
5 years. I mean, obviously he had to work hard at it, but your letter lit the fire under his ass, as he said. And now you're saying he's saving you every day. So explain that to us.
He's my only motivation to get through every day.
What kind of things do you struggle with throughout the day?
Just like a lot of mental health, a lot of anxiety, a lot of feeling down, not really knowing why, a lot of bad thoughts, urges, but just like thinking about what David went through. I think he went through that. He got through it. He was at the lowest, like, and I was like, I can do it too. So that's just what I think.
So share with us some of the things if you want to. You don't have to, but share with us, when did you start having the feelings that you have?
Yeah, I'd say my parents say they've kind of always noticed little signs, but I'd say it really started coming out 7th grade, probably. Started with,
Okay.
like, the anxiety part. I was having a lot of trouble eating, not necessarily an eating disorder at that point, but I like felt like everything I put in my mouth I couldn't like swallow, or I'd like choke and die on it. So like I just didn't eat. So like I had that anxiety, and then that was also when a lot of things happened with David. So my depression kind of started then too. Then it just kind of escalated starting at like, say probably like March of freshman year. That's when it started escalating. And I ended up going into my first inpatient in July of 2018. Yeah.
Explain a little bit the inpatient. What exactly does that? How's that work?
So basically, what happened? Oh, geez. So you go to crisis intervention, which is basically just a really good service that is there for you if you need someone to talk to, if like you really feel like you're gonna like hurt yourself or something, if you really feel like you need to talk to someone, it's a good place to go. My parents have brought me there a couple times. And
So would you say this is kind of like drug addiction and going to rehab a couple different times?
you know, I've often wondered like if it is, because like I don't know, like I've always wanted to like ask David, being like, what are the similarities between this one and this one? Because, like, I'm thinking, and, like, because the eating disorder hospital and then the, just, like, the generalized one were two different ones.
Okay.
So, like, I can't imagine how different the drug abuse rehab would be.
Okay, so your first in what is it called?
Inpatient.
Inpatient.
Was that by choice, or was that someone else saying, "Hey, you might want to"?
That was us taking her to crisis and asking for help. And
What kind of small signs did you notice?
She was just very sad, didn't participate in anything. I don't know if you were self-harming at that time.
I think
I
I
think
was.
you were, because I think that was a big thing that scared me. We would see, the damage that she would do, and it just scared us. We didn't know what to do. So we went to crisis, and they guided us through, put her in inpatient for the first time. Scary
Yeah,
for
but
her.
I met some really good people there.
She's still in touch
Yeah,
with those people.
I just hung out with one of them the other day.
So you would consider
Okay.
a good experience then?
So your first inpatient was for this food disorder.
That was for generalized.
Generalized.
Yeah.
Okay, is that where I came to see you?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the one you came to see me. Then I went into Roxbury after that. I think it was actually later that year, February to March or something.
Yeah.
I was in Roxbury for a while, and then August or July through September, I was in Shepherd's Pratt for eating disorder treatment. And then March and February of 2020, I was in Brook Lane.
Okay.
And there, like, I met, like, so many, like, so nice people. We talk every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to touch on the self-harming thing. We've noticed that it's more common than we thought. The self-harming with people. I forget who else it was Ashlyn. Ashlyn, the one
Ashlyn?
Chelsea's cousin.
Okay.
She self-harmed herself, and you mentioned that it is more common than what we thought.
It's
I
very
have another
common.
friend whose daughter did that as well.
Do you mind sharing what you did?
No. Yeah, no. It got to points where, like, it's like you hear stories about, like, how drug users will, like, do anything to, like, get money to, like, get the drug, you know? But,
Yeah.
like, it was kind of, like, at that point, I had, like, my mom's stuff, like, all the sharps were, like, locked away because I was in a day program before I went into that inpatient. And I don't know. Wait.
It's you can find anything to self-harm, anything.
So, like, basically, like, you can use, if you put your mind to it.
So what types of things did you do?
Like, I'd break mechanical pencils, use the plastic on mechanical pencils. Like,
And just cut yourself?
yeah, it got to that point. I used eyebrow razors for a while. There were different things. It really depended on what was around me.
Did you do this every day?
I don't know about every day, but happens. It usually happens more than once.
Where did it originate from? How did you get the idea of, hey, let me do this to myself? Did you learn it from somebody in school?
I honestly have no idea.
No experience?
I remember finding things on your computer about self-harm, things that you would research, and I don't know if that's how you learned about it, but I know you would research it, and I thought maybe that's how.
Yeah, I was always curious on how people start with doing that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was just more like thinking about like the benefits. There aren't many, but
What was your benefits?
it was like if I did that, it took away the emotional pain and it gave me physical pain instead. So it took that away for a little bit. But it doesn't last long.
So how many years would you say you were doing that?
Probably 4,
Okay.
on and off.
And I'm sitting here, and I know we haven't spoken a long time,
Yeah.
Aunt Vicky, Maddie,
Right.
and we're sitting here. What are you taking in as far as like how we're perceiving you guys right now? Like, put yourself. How do you think we're thinking right now? Stigma. I'm trying to bring this back to stigma. So, do you guys feel comfortable sharing this stuff with us, or do you feel like we're judging?
I don't feel you're judging at all. I'm
Okay.
comfortable with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because this is new.
This,
I was seeing if you wanted to comment.
I was just curious because we don't think about that sometimes.
Well, we've
Yeah.
not heard this. I mean, Maddie's in our family. Maddie was, when Vic had problems when she was little, she lived with us basically, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
weekends,
I
and
remember
I
you
mean,
were over all the time as a baby.
Yeah.
I remember
As a
she'd
baby,
leave
yeah.
the room. She'd be like, "Watch Maddie." I'm like,
I don't remember all that.
I'm not experiencing this kid stuff.
I know you have some of her secrets on her cooking.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I have exposed her at family reunions multiple times on her brownie making.
Yes.
Sam's
They're-
Club.
Shout out to your dog. It's not sponsored.
but no, Maddie spent a lot of time. I mean, I don't know if she remembers.
Yeah.
She slept in a playpen at the bottom of our
Oh,
bed.
yeah. I remember. That was like.
You remember being that young?
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I loved being over at your house. That was my favorite place to be.
And we had our dog, and she'd be in her walker with Cheerios or whatever, and the dog would like be following her around.
I remember you had to keep cheese in the refrigerator for when I came over.
Yeah, Maddie was a fussy eater, but she spent a lot of time as an infant with us,
Yeah. She did.
and then till probably like 2 or 3,
Yeah.
it was pretty frequent. She was just part of the group. We hooked her in the. We had a minivan that had a built-in car seat, and we just like took her everywhere. Like she just became part of the family. So that's when we were the closest.
Yeah.
Now, I'd always known you as swimming, right?
Yeah.
You went in school and you swam in school, right?
I swam till like 8th grade.
Was that like a good outlet for you? Did you?
Yeah, and something I also kind of realized is like that ended in 8th grade and the depression started getting a lot worse in 9th. So I'm thinking maybe like that extra downtime
Yeah.
from not going to swim practice or like not having something to get my mind off of it might have contributed to it.
So
a
you
little
enjoy
bit.
going there and swimming?
I hated it, but
Did you do it by choice or were you forced to do it?
I was forced to go, but I wanted to swim. If that makes sense.
That don't make any sense.
Like I wanted to swim on the team. I just never wanted to go to practice.
She didn't want to practice.
Okay.
Were you better than everybody else?
No.
She's like Allen Iverson. Practice?
Yeah,
Who
no.
needs practice?
I
Calling out
hated.
AI on this podcast?
Ask my parents. I'd cry
Yeah,
and
she did not like going
I
to practice.
didn't like going to practice.
She was good though. She was a good butterflyer. She has records, I think, still today at Central. If I'm right on that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
you know, maybe not anymore, but she had them for a while. Yeah, she was a good butterflyer.
Well, congrats on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. A long time ago.
It's
Like
not
to
that
rem-
long.
Yeah.
So you went from that, you went from swimming, and you said that's when you had more downtime. So when you were during that period, is that when David was active in addiction?
I'm not 100% sure when he was. I mean, I know probably 5th through 7th, he definitely was.
Yeah, definitely was.
He definitely was 5th through 7th, but I don't
I'm
know
trying to
about
think.
before that. I
When
can't
you-
remember.
Yeah, when you were swimming, I don't remember.
I don't think
I don't think that he was. At least I wasn't aware of it. If he was
Yeah.
at that point, anyway. Yeah.
not that we were aware of.
So Dave's addiction wasn't the full reason why you went the way you went.
No.
It was other things as well
No.
as Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just added anxiety in the household.
Oh yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
in no way, shape, or form David. Like, it was just, I don't know, like a lot of stuff was happening. It was middle school,
Okay.
hard years, didn't like school.
And you
Had-
switched schools.
yeah.
At what age did you switch schools?
That was,
Third grade, you went to
yeah,
Central.
that
in
was third grade.
Oh, that was younger.
Yeah, she
Okay.
was younger.
Okay. So we stopped swimming. Didn't we
Yeah.
pick up tennis somewhere?
Yes, we did. And then you came to one of my tennis matches, and I was not
Yeah,
there.
you were not there. Me and Uncle Joe asked everybody, Maddie Reinman? Maddie Reinman? And one girl said she's over there. So we went over there. Maddie Reinman?
But that was
not
Maddie
here
Mummer.
today.
Yeah.
So we never did get to see you play tennis. But
Why tennis?
I don't know. My cousin, the only girl cousin that I have, on the other side, she played tennis for a while, and so I was like, when I was younger, I was like, I want to be like Sarah. So like I would go to like tennis for kids programs in the summer. Then like I was like, you know what? I don't have swimming, something to do. Start going to like Wisehaven, see how I like it, and then went on from there. Did freshman and sophomore year of the tennis team, and then I couldn't junior year because I was told by my doctor that I couldn't because I was still recovering from the eating disorder. So they were like, they didn't want me over exercising,
okay.
and then I just kind of stopped.
So tell us about the eating disorder. Is that when you couldn't eat because you felt like you were going to get sick? Or is this a different episode?
This is a different episode. It started. It
Junior year, I think, is when we confronted it.
Yeah, it's when we confronted it. Basically, I don't know if I should say numbers or anything, but I dropped like 40, 50 pounds in like 2 months.
So you didn't eat or you ate and you purged?
Both,
Okay.
but mostly didn't eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to counseling for that?
Yep, I went to in
Shepherd Pratt in
Maryland, yeah.
July.
So for the listeners out there right now who, Maddie, have the same thing that you went through, and obviously their parents may or may not know, or they're afraid to bring it up, what is the experience in a rehab for an eating disorder?
It's hard, especially with my experience. I mean, I had so many nice girls that I was with, luckily. I mean, everywhere I've been, I've met really nice people that I still talk to this day. But
What's a day like in a rehab for an eating addiction?
So you wake up, and usually we'd get like a shower or something. They'd give us our meds. We'd have like a group. Then we'd all go down to breakfast. And basically, they'd have, like, people standing all around.
I was going to say, people stare to
Yeah.
make sure you were eating.
People standing
Okay.
around, people handing out food, and people just kind of watching. And it was
They were very strict.
very strict, and it was not a fun experience.
If they dropped a piece of food on the floor, wasn't
No.
it replaced?
No.
They didn't make them eat that, but I thought you said they, like, if they drop a
No, but basically, like, if you had, like, half of a fry left, they'd be like, you have to eat that. Like, you have to, like, empty all the packets of ketchup completely. Like, they're very strict on serving sizes.
What?
Okay.
They're very strict. Like, you have to use all the butter. You have to eat things you don't like, or else if you don't eat something, even if it's just, like, one tiny little thing, you get an Ensure. They give
And
me
Ensure,
yeah,
that drink, that's, for
Yes.
those that don't know, that's one of those
supplements.
Ensure, you can get that
Yes.
at the store. They give that to a lot of different people. I
Yes.
remember just seniors. Joe's dad had that when he had
Oh,
cancer
yeah.
at the end because he couldn't eat, so he
Those
had
are
to
my
do the
biggest
Ensure.
fear.
And
They don't
then
taste good.
Yeah, I thought they had different flavors, didn't they?
They do.
They
but
do, but they are my biggest fear. It's funny, whenever I go to the grocery store with my friends, I'll joke around, and if I see them, I'll like scream and run away.
They're in the supplement section, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like the little bottles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get
It's
some
like
for you next time.
chocolate, vanilla. He has some out here. Do you want him to mix you some?
Yeah, what's your favorite worst flavor?
What's my favorite what?
Worst flavor. You said they're all bad. So what's your favorite?
My favorite what flavor?
Worst.
Your worst flavor. I think they come in strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate, right?
Oh yeah, strawberry was the worst. I had never drank strawberry. Chocolate was my favorite.
So how do you know you might like strawberry?
Nah.
It might be your go-to eventually. You don't know.
So every meal they watched you.
Every meal, yeah.
And then you did counseling, self-counseling, individual, and then group, or?
Yeah, there was individual counseling every day. There were groups every day. There was meetings with the doctors every day. There was they took our vitals and everything to get our pressures checked because at that point, everything was low.
Yeah.
I had really bad anemia. Every time I stood up, I thought for sure I'd faint.
She looked very healthy, but she lost. I mean, her weight was healthy, but she lost a lot of weight at that
Fast.
time.
And I was just
and
like
her
a
system
ghost.
was shutting down on her. It was
Yeah.
shutting down because she wasn't getting nutrition.
Yeah.
So what was your take from that rehab? What does it take to get through that program successfully?
Drink the onshore or whatever it is.
Inshore?
Avoid the inshore and eat.
Basically just, I don't know, finding a way to control,
Self-control.
yeah, self-control.
Would you say it comes down to discipline and creating a new habit, basically?
But
Yeah.
also dealing with the issue that caused you to get into that situation.
Yeah.
So did you acknowledge, and you don't have to share with us, but did you acknowledge what that situation was and what your issue was?
I never really was sure about why, but I
Okay.
mean, I was bullied a little bit when I was younger, so I'm thinking for my weight, so that was probably a lot of what started it. And then just kind of throughout the years, it just kind of more and more happened, and it just,
Okay.
So this place strictly stuck with the eating disorder part of it and didn't
Yes.
even hack into the whatever was causing it. Like they didn't try to dig in deeper and figure out what caused you to do this.
they did. They try with everyone, but I don't know. They have so many people that it's just kind of.
So did you share with friends?
I shared with. Okay, so there's been instances where I'll tell one of my close friends, I'm like, don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Then they'll be like, okay, I won't. And then I find out she'll tell someone that I don't like. This happened last time, but
A lot of drama in these
yeah.
places.
But anyway, I got upset. I was like, it is not your business to be spreading my business around. And so
I can only
basically,
imagine a bunch of girls together.
yeah, no. So I basically texted her, and then when I saw her in the hall, I didn't confront her, but I kind of did.
Okay. So you were in there and you were out. So for any listeners out there that have eating disorders, what would you say to them? What's your best advice through your experience?
Everything's good in moderation. Something I learned, it's okay to eat anything as long as it's not a big amount and it's not too much or too little. It's just every once in a while you can have something unhealthy even.
Okay. Because even adults, I mean, you listen to the podcast where I eat my
Yeah.
face off a couple weekends ago.
Yeah.
And that,
Glad to see you got it back.
Yeah, because
I think her nose is still trying to grow a little bit, but
so you listen to that. So it's not even just young people. This happens to
Yeah.
adults as well.
oh yeah, no, when I was in treatment, there were 70-year-old women.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there were middle-aged
Do I fit in that 70 category?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
no, it
you know,
ranged-
your age 70.
literally ranged from I think it started at like a 12-year-old to
Wow.
like a 70-something. Like it
Okay.
ranges. Yeah.
That's crazy. 12 years old. I think a lot of this
yeah, it
comes from
starts
being
early.
bullied. It comes from the stigma of being overweight
I don't even
and being
remember
bullied.
being 12 years old. How do you even understand something like that? 12
And
years old.
I just start thinking back to 7th grade when like I was having trouble with swallowing. If maybe that might have contributed to the eating disorder, because I might have thought, well, I lost that much weight when I couldn't eat then. So it's like, imagine how much weight I can lose now.
And that was your goal.
Yeah.
To get skinny. And when you see yourself, when you drop that much weight in that short amount of time, did you still see yourself as heavy?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
I no matter what weight I'm at, I still see myself the same.
To this day.
Yeah.
Okay. So
How
you're
do we
still.
fix that?
It's mental.
It's
It's
mental.
mental.
I mean, I just today I bought this
There's
outfit.
gotta be
They're
a-
laughing.
there's
God,
gotta
here
be-
we go.
They're laughing at
There's
my
gotta
outfit,
be a
but
way to.
We need to. Can we say this
help
for another
this.
episode?
yeah. That's why we're helped. That's why Maddie's here. Like that's why I'm asking her these questions.
This
what
is
do you
every.
say
This
to
is like
somebody?
almost every girl.
So you
Self-image.
experienced it.
Self-image is what you're saying, Dylan.
It is
I mean,
self-image.
Tori touched on it a little bit there
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah.
And what does it come down to? It's self-image. It's you want to fit in. It's the stigma of not fitting in. It's
Yeah.
So, name calling. Were you called any names when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, I was called fat ass. People would sing like Maddie in Food sitting in a tree, like, and like just like singing like stuff like that. And
That was an early age.
that was
You
that
were
was
very young.
I wasn't even, I don't think, in elementary school yet when that was happening. So that was pretty early.
So you might not remember it, Dylan, but that stuff like that adds up over time. To me, in my opinion,
well, if you're
I mean,
insecure and you have a lot going on.
because
Well, you're so young. You're still learning at that point, and if that's what people are doing to you, you don't necessarily know how to
Any
take
different.
it. You don't know how
Yeah.
to take it. You don't have that conscience that's built yet, and the self confidence that is built yet that you can just say, "Oh, whatever." Like they're just bullying me.
Mm-hmm.
so pretty much they bullied you. You never had a chance to
Yeah.
to build your self confidence because it happened so,
So young. Yeah.
Yeah, and that just kind of led to like me letting people kind of run how my life has been going. Just for most of my life, but I've been working on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the second therapy that you went to, inpatient, was for generalization, general things. What's the treatment like there?
It's basically like the same. Get up early. A lot of groups. They're not as strict on eating. That's one thing. They didn't like. They marked what you ate, but it wasn't a big deal. You know,
Okay.
like you didn't have to.
So I visited you in this hospital.
Yes.
It was co-ed.
Yes.
I remember when I walked in, one of the guys was having a temper tantrum. I think you were in a session when I got there. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous wreck. I was nervous. You have to
Wow.
go through a lot to get into
Yeah,
the
you do.
to the unit itself. I think they searched me.
Yeah, I'll never forget.
I think I had to leave my stuff I think I brought you food I brought you snacks.
wow,
I remember I brought her a bag of snacks. Literally, I brought candy
Is
and
that to
stuff.
protect the patients?
And they had to check it in. Like she had to get it at certain times. There was questions that they asked me and things like that. So it was kind of, and it wasn't my first time in a hospital like that, but my first time with you
Yeah.
by myself, and I know I was a little nervous going in there, but you were laughing. I mean, everybody was having a good time at that point in this session. And I remember you and I went to a room. They put us in a room
Yeah.
together, and it was a little weird because I have this phobia that I can't get out. So Maddie kept me going like the whole time, and we had a lot of talk, and there was stuff going on in the hallway and things like that. So in that case, people were in there for different things, correct? It wasn't
Yeah.
just eating disorders. It was all
No.
different things.
Yeah, there were people there for anger as well, and just some people with like autism or like special needs,
needs,
will
yeah.
come in.
Okay.
I think that's happened at like 2 of my inpatients. We've had one, but yeah,
So in those group sessions, what do you talk? Because everybody's there for a different reason.
yeah.
So you just talk in general, like how to get through everyday living and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, generally, a lot of the people are feeling the same way that are in there. And it's like when you're in there, you kind of have to get lucky with the people you're in there with. I did for, I would say, all of them. But
What do you mean by that? You have to get lucky.
With the people that you get put in there with. Because, like, some people can be good to be around and some just don't. Like the last one I was in, I made people that I don't think I could ever be closer to anyone else. Like my friend Maddie and my friend Jarek, like those two, I met them there, and I don't know, like we just had like this bond and we were all just like a family. It was kind of weird. One night we were all just like sitting at a table and we were like passing around this like banana. I don't know. It was weird, but like just like the smallest things like you'll remember and be like, no one else would find that fun. But like if you're sitting in a hospital with nothing else to do, it was fun. So
you fit in and felt more comfortable with those girls or guys or whoever?
Sometimes, because sometimes I also felt like I didn't, because I usually hang out with like people. I mean, a lot of my friends have mental illness issues.
So would you say a majority, I mean, we're learning this doing these podcasts, that more people have mental health issues than we're dealing with, and it's starting at a very, very young age. Like at Tio, when he brought his up in his podcast, was like 3 years old. So you would say a majority of your friends, even outside of the hospital, have issues?
Oh yeah, a big majority. It's kind of funny. My best friend just got out of a day program, and right after she got out of it, I got put in it.
So this is like, it's interesting.
Now
It's interesting to me that this isn't being addressed.
Yeah, no, like we have the same psychiatrist. We had the same medication. We like to make fun of each other for that. But
Okay.
Do you think social media contributed to any of this?
probably, I'd say.
Were you into social media pretty early in your life, like as a young child?
Not as early as some people.
Okay.
We didn't allow you to have a phone. I remember
Yeah,
you were mad at
no.
us.
I
15 maybe?
wasn't as.
No,
No,
it
it
was
was
sooner than
way
that. I'm sorry.
sooner
It
than
was
15.
sooner
I
than
was
that.
like 12,
Yes, you
11
were.
or
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
But a lot of people already by that point already had social media. But I don't know that really contributed much in a way of worsening my mental health, but it definitely didn't help.
Okay.
I would say you're pretty open about the things you're going through. How's it feel to admit to these things? Admit to you going to counseling and doing all this stuff?
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about it before. So, like, I'm just kind of used to talking about it.
Does it make you feel better talking about it with other people?
Sometimes.
Probably more to the closer group of friends than
Yeah.
it is for the outer. I know David kind of said that you were his idol. Who's your idol? I know you said David a little bit, but who were you always looking up to growing up? It could be an actress. It could be anybody. Who's that one person that you wanted to be like?
I think it.
Could be your mom or anybody.
She's making
That woman over there.
Sorry, I set you up for that one.
No, I'd say it probably was always David.
Was it?
Yeah. I don't know why, but like ever since I was younger, we've just had this really, really close bond. For like, I don't even know why. It just ever since, I've always felt so attached to him, and I've always looked up to him no matter what he's done.
I mean, you always had to look up Zach too. He's kind of tall.
Yeah, he's tall. He has a mustache now, so it's kind of hard to take him seriously.
But you even think about, like, you were with us a lot, but Dave would come a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave was
I mean,
around.
Dave
We used to
was-
hang around
yeah,
a lot.
Dave would come over with Austin and Dylan, and then you would just be with us as well. So
That's interesting as well because we didn't know Dave was doing that.
I think he started after we stopped kind of getting together.
I
Yeah.
think it probably started at the end of high school.
Yeah,
I think that's what
that
he
was
said.
It was the
story.
end of high
Yeah,
school.
Yeah,
we
that's
s-
what he said, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He started. Yeah.
that was.
I think in
that
high
was-
school was kind of when we kind of stopped hanging out, wasn't it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we didn't have
We were
any
always
clue.
together at one point.
Baseball was one thing. We were all involved
Yeah.
in baseball.
Mm.
Do you remember
Yeah.
going baseball?
Yeah. I remember being taken out of St. Patrick's early to go to Zach's baseball games.
Yeah, so they
So
played
you're-
baseball.
Your idol was David. That's interesting. So you guys both kind of rely on each other.
Yeah.
Do you believe in a higher power?
Yes. I'm Christian.
Are you?
I wouldn't say I'm as into it as I used to be. But I believe, I don't know, like, I believe there is someone, but I don't know.
Yeah, religion's interesting topic
It's
for
a
me.
tough question for anybody.
It is.
It
But
If
is.
you ask anybody out in the street straight up if they're a Christian or whatever, it's tough for them because
I
that's
didn't ask
another.
him if they're. I
But
didn't ask her if
yeah,
she's a
I know.
Christian. I'm,
I'm
saying
just
higher
sa-
power.
I'm just saying you're whatever, higher power or whatever. It's just tough for somebody to answer that question
I agree, but
But why is that?
because of stigma.
that's true. That's a good
It goes
point.
down to stigma of that too. And
But-
then people start bashing you with questions, and then it's like, well, I don't have the answer for you because I didn't get that far, or I don't know that much. It's like as
But are
soon
they
as
bashing you?
somebody says,
Are they bashing you or are they just curious? The fact that
Yeah, like me right
I
now.
got a phone call.
no, you're not bashing me.
No.
I like when you ask me questions because that gets me more involved, even more into the Bible, and I'm learning more.
I have to tell you, and this is getting a little off topic, Maddie, here, but both these guys work with guys all day long. And one day my phone rang from both of them, and I'm thinking something must have happened to Dad because it's not even. I'm still working, and Dylan called me.
First
and
of all, you do
Austin
not answer
called
your
me.
phone. We had this conversation.
I was working,
You answer about 30%.
so I didn't answer
of my
the phone to
calls.
either one of them, and then I got panicked because
There
they
you
don't
go.
normally call me, and I called both of them. And their question to me, I thought there was an emergency, and their question, both of them asked me the same question. Do I believe in purgatory? And I'm thinking...
Purgatory or purgatory?
Purgatory, however you want to say it. Because you don't believe in it anyway, so it don't matter how I say it. But whatever. But I hung up after that, and I thought, now these are grown men on their lunch break, construction workers who say, fuck,
Not me.
Austin, not you.
Not
would
our
say that.
our construction
His
site.
construction's different
Our
than
construction
theirs.
site does not consist of
But-
those words because I run that construction
Okay.
site.
But whatever, like I had to smile and I had to think, wow, these are young adults
You just said grown men.
talking about, because you're not kids, talking about religion on a lunch break. Like kudos, like that made me happy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of
Like
promising
that
in a way.
that makes me happy. So
The
when
reason-
when Maddie was just asked that question, why did you ask that question to Maddie?
Because I come from a perspective of curiosity. I'm curious. Like,
Okay.
religion intrigue, like, it's an interesting topic for me. I will sit here and talk to Dylan and my mom and anybody about religion. Like, it's just interesting to me what their beliefs are. There's so many different beliefs out there. Everybody's different.
Yeah, like my friend Mallory, I think it was a couple weeks ago, we went to First Friday in the city, and it was fun. We got tarot card readings, and
What's up?
it's basically like a psychic,
Oh, okay.
but like I don't know how to explain it, but it was
And
a
they
lot
read
of
cards.
fun.
Yeah.
Oh
I've
yeah,
heard of that.
They
I've heard
flip
of
cards over and then
And
they read
it
them.
was insane because like this lady was like really like
She was on point.
yeah, it was weird because at that point I had just gotten through a breakup and she was like, did you just go through a breakup? And I was like, and I looked at Mallory and she was like, what the hell? But then she was also like, something tells me you also did modeling. And I did for a while.
That's on her TikTok.
I also
That's interesting to me. 'Cause
I
you had
also did
self-image
acting
issues.
as well. For
That
a
was
little
something
bit.
she did to help, and it did help her in a sense.
In a
improve her
sense.
self-image. Yeah.
I did that in March after I got out of the last hospital.
So how'd that help you?
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was it other people giving you comments that built that confidence?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's the biggest confidence booster was making it in.
Gotcha.
Probably. Just because it's like, all right, like I have a shot here. But
Yeah.
And so when you looked at, obviously this, we're learning this, folks, together. Did you look at your photographs and see beauty?
oh, I hated every one of them.
But they were probably good. Did people
Very
tell
good.
you how great they were?
People say that, but I hate every one of them.
You still hate every one of them.
Yes.
Okay, well, I want to see these
Sound like my
afterwards.
life.
We're going to post one of these on our podcast because, so it helped build your image, but you didn't see the beauty in them yourself.
No.
Okay, so what else did this person tell you about your cards?
Oh, yeah. And then she was like, you're gonna, like, have, like, a really, like, hard thing, but you're gonna get through it. And I think that was kind of what she was talking about with... So, it's a very long story. So, I was in a relationship for 2 years. Very unhealthy relationship. Telling me what I couldn't wear, do, say. Yeah.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Mom because we had this conversation.
Why does it always
not
come
about-
back to me?
Not about you. Not about. It's yeah.
okay.
But yeah, no. And after that, like, for a while, like, I'd still text him. After I broke up with him, I still texted him. But it got to the point where, like, one day he was like, he showed up to my front door because he'd done something to himself. And he was, like, crying to me, like, begging for me back. And it wasn't good for my mental health because it's like, this isn't what I need right now.
So that was selfish on his part.
Yes. So
Very selfish.
that happened. So I ended up blocking him as the result.
So you had all this going on.
Yeah, this started September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
So you have a lot you're dealing with.
She does.
So every day, now every day you look to David's strength that he got through his fight every day and is going to fight for the rest of his life.
Yeah, because I just can't imagine, like, the things he went through, he got through them. So the things I'm going through.
You'll get through.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're going to fight it for the rest of your life?
There's times I do and times I don't. I mean, I definitely don't see it going away.
What do you do to help it? Like, every day, what do you do?
Usually just,
Your coping skill set.
yeah, just, like, listening to music, or I'll, like, go exercise.
Walk. Go for a walk. You like to do that.
Yeah.
Music's a big impact in people's lives. They don't
Oh,
realize
yeah.
It is a very big impact for her.
She makes fun of my music.
that. Your
But
mood swing can go from here to here real quick. Just
Yeah.
listen to music.
yeah.
Don't listen to country.
Some countries okay.
Emotional.
Some's okay.
I try to listen to her music, and it's
She
different.
doesn't like my music. She doesn't like any bad words, so she doesn't like my music at all.
So it's a rap?
It's a variety.
Okay.
Yeah, but, like, my wife and I had this conversation. There's songs that I like not because of the words or the lyrics, but just because of the beat in the
Yes.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and she's a lot. She does have songs that I listen to that she likes. Is it more the music that you like, or is it the words? Because sometimes I think it's the music that you tend to
Why?
like.
Because you just don't want
I'm
me
praying
to.
you don't like the words. I'm praying it's not the words. I'm praying.
Do we hear this music on the regular radio?
I mean, you probably hear it on TikTok.
Why are you looking at me?
Because you're on TikTok.
Do you like it because you feel like you can relate to the lyrics, or do you just like the tunes, or your mom's asking?
Yeah, like I have like
Look at
20.
her praying over there.
Well, what's the song we listened to on the way in about the guy that was in a mental hospital and they found these? It was a song. What was it called?
It's a good song.
Like,
It
oh my
it
God.
sounds insane, but it's a
It
good
is
song.
insane. The guy had 2 people buried underneath his house. I mean, come on.
It's a good song.
I'm
Come
listening
on.
to these words. I'm
It's
thinking,
called That's All by Hello Everybody. My name's Evan D. Craven. I am today's newest patient.
I don't think I
Never
ever
heard
heard
It
of it.
goes like that, but
Is it on the radio?
I don't know if
I
it's
don't
on the
think that would be on
radio.
the
Then I
radio.
probably would never heard of it.
No. It's on her playlist.
It's a good song.
Okay, but you relate to it, and that helps you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a paranoid schizophrenic, or I don't have people hiding, like, buried under my house, but, like...
Because I live in that house.
Other than that.
Okay.
I think it's more the message you're trying to get.
Yeah, I
across.
think
Yeah.
he's translating a feeling that he has.
Yeah.
Or a belief that he has.
And that's one thing, like, she'll hear the words and be like, what? And it's not really about the words.
I listen to the words. When I listen to music, that's what I listen to, the
Okay.
words.
But you're taking the words literally.
I do.
And if you're
She
not,
does.
if you listen to the words, he's trying to get a message
It
across.
was so funny. The word hoe was in one. She was like, oh, that's so rude.
No, hoe is not. No.
Yes,
You
no.
know the words I don't like.
They
when I
called
listen to
someone a
music.
hoe, and you were like, oh, that's not nice. I remember
Sometimes
that.
the truth hurts.
It's like, it's a song.
Okay.
They have two people cackling today. Our laughs.
Okay. So,
So where do you see yourself moving on from here? You're in high school, right? You're still in 12th grade.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself?
In 5 years.
I hate those questions, but but where do you see yourself in 5
You're
years?
about to ask it. What the heck?
he was
5
going 1
years.
year. Let's do one.
do one
Let's
year
do
at a
one
time.
day at a time.
Well, I mean, I could give you two answers. One, my best friend's plan, or mine, but I'll give you mine. I don't know. Probably move in with my best friend, whenever we get the money for that. Speaking of which, we are finding out about the job today, if we get it or not.
Hey, let's keep this on topic here.
Yes. You can tell me about that
So
later.
you're going to get a job.
She's trying to occupy her time more, and
That's
that's
gonna
something she
help.
wants to
Yeah,
do.
that'll help.
That'll definitely help.
Yeah.
That'll bring some income.
Yes.
And it's with your friend. You shared this with me the other day, so that's good.
Yep.
So what do you do every day? Like he's talking about where you're going to be in 5 years. Where do you get
Yeah,
your
like-
motivation for the next day?
I want to be in Towson. I want to be at Towson University studying psychology, and I want to
Okay.
eventually, after college, be working at a psychiatric hospital, being
Helping
a
other people.
psychologist in the psychiatric adolescent unit.
And that's great because you've
Yeah.
experienced it.
And that's why I want to go to Towson also, because that's where Shepherd's Pratt was, and that was one of the better ones I've been to, and there's so many programs around there that I could get involved in if I went to Towson University. So that's like the main reason that I want to go there.
You'll probably learn even more about yourself when when
Yeah.
you're trying to help other people out. So it's like a win-win.
Yeah.
And they need that. Like you can go to school, not Amelia. Amelia went to school, but Allie,
The therapist.
the therapist, she's down in Towson. She's working somewhere down in Towson. She was here for a podcast when her and Dylan were going over the debate if it's a choice or not. And,
She
and
won.
she has the experience from school. But you have the experience. You lived it through life, and then you're going to take the time to go to school to learn it. We have a good book here that maybe she can borrow. It's Amelia's. I'm sure she'll let you borrow it. It's about all the addictions and diseases and mental health disorders. And there's so many. Like, it's a big, thick book on them. So that's great that you're working towards that.
Yeah.
I mean, just to come on here today and share this with us took a lot. And you're not the only one. Like, there's a lot of them, a lot of people your age that are going through all this. Now you're a senior and COVID's here. So we talked a little bit about this. You can't go to homecoming,
No.
the sporting events. Like,
It's
probably
my senior year,
yeah.
too.
And so you're missing out on that adventure as well. And COVID, and you can't go out and do things. So that's depressing. Dr. Oz just had that on today. That's affecting normal,
Oh, yeah.
everyday life for everybody.
A lot of people have been, like, their mental health has been just, like, decreasing because of everything with
COVID.
Corona, yeah.
So and now you're struggling and you're getting better and you're still fighting it and you fight it every day.
Yeah.
And with David's help, even though you don't talk to Dave every day, just knowing that he's fighting and he's making it is motivating you.
Yeah, I haven't called David or talked to him in very long, but still, like, every day.
Yeah, that connection.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Okay.
That's cool. Well, I have another question real quick before we wrap this up. What were the conversations like between you and your parents when you were dealing with these things you were going through? Were you open about all these things?
I was open some points, not as much.
More so to me than Dad.
And others, I've always opened up more to my mom than my dad, but I
And Vicky, were you guys open to what she was telling you, or were you?
I was open to it. I understood it because I
Okay.
went through it,
Okay.
and it's yeah, I understood. And to this day, I try to get her to talk to me sometimes about it, and I understand why she doesn't want to sometimes, but it would help her to talk to me as well. So that's something that we're working on.
Yeah.
But her dad is he calls her, he texts her, and he's there. He's there for all the meetings. He's there. He's there for her. So yeah, but he doesn't understand it as well as not having it. It's hard to understand everything that's involved with it. So
And mental health in your family is a big issue.
it's a big issue.
yeah.
It's a big
our
issue.
family.
Our family.
Especially our family.
Our family.
So, and that's a story for later. If Vic ever wants to share that part of her story,
Sure.
Yeah, I would love that to come on.
Sure.
it runs in the family. And they say, I mean, we're still struggling. I think Austin read somewhere where it's hereditary.
It is hereditary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're doing good.
I think the best thing we can do as a community is keep talking about it,
Yeah.
It helps.
keep sharing.
Just remember, don't just assume like what people are going through, because you just never know.
Yep.
Because we all look that normal look.
Exactly.
Like we all come from this great family and everything's
Yeah.
perfect, and behind the scenes people are suffering like crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and it's the stigma.
Yeah.
And Maddie knows more than we know what teenagers are going through today, and it's not easy.
Do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
It's the inside that matters, not the outside.
Yep.
Exactly. It's very true.
Any message you want to send out?
Anything you want to share with anybody that might be struggling like you were struggling?
Don't let what people say get into your head.
I like that.
Good.
Do you care if anybody like reaches out to you? I know a podcast
No.
ain't really that big, so if someone wants to reach out, you're alright with that?
Yeah,
Where
that's
can they
fine.
find you? You don't have to say TikTok.
Or they can reach out to us and we can
Yeah,
forward it to
well,
Well,
on
the best thing
page.
to do is get in contact with her. I
Yeah.
think. So
Okay.
you don't have to say your TikTok.
They
like
could get
your
me
Instagram,
on Instagram.
Facebook.
Yeah.
What is it?
Maddie Elizabeth 72.
Okay. It's Facebook's just your name.
Facebook, yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anybody wants to reach out to her, any advice or anything, she's open to that. So
Yeah.
And
I
keep
wanna-
following your dream.
Yep.
You'll be a great therapist someday.
yeah,
Hopefully.
I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah,
Yep,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.